Hello and welcome to another Replicate Reviews video. Now today we're going to be doing the field test portion of our review on the ASG PO9 Duty, distributed here in the UK by Highland Outdoors. Now initially this gun's got a bit of a mixed reception. A lot of people like it, a fair few don't like it as well. My honest opinion is that it's still a really nice gun, don't get me wrong, but it's not as solid as the PO7 Duty, which is a bit of a shame. But you know, they might have their off days. I think if there wasn't so much hype around this gun when it first came out, I don't think people would have been expecting so much, and I think that it would have got a better reception. But anyway, let's put the politics to one side. If you want to feel free to check out the video, you know, more than welcome to. So we'll get on with trying to load the gun. Now I'm going to start off by showing you the magazine. Now for anybody that's familiar with the PT85, you'll see that this magazine is exactly the same. Now as you can see, I've cheated. I've had a bit of a Blue Peter moment and I've prepared one earlier. So what we'll do is just quickly show you how to load this. Now we're going to be using the basic Crossman domed. Now you just push them in like so, and this will only turn clockwise. I think probably be quite an appropriate time to say it's actually counterclockwise, isn't it? Yeah, and I dropped one. So yeah, it's really simple to load. The only thing I would say is just be careful not to over rotate the magazine, because as you can see it doesn't quite line up with the indents. Once you've done that, just put the magazine off to one side and it's time to load the CO2. Now this should be a fairly simple process by all means, but it's not the easiest system to use. Now if you're familiar with the Umarex S26, I think it's called, it's basically the P226 variant. There's a hinge here and it all just folds up. However, with the PO9 the whole thing detaches. Now because it's got these fairly high sides, it can be an absolute pain to load it, and using this really small tab is also a little bit awkward. That said, lowering the CO2 in is just as simple as you'd expect it to be on anything. Now you just tighten it up until you hear a hiss like so, and then just push the little tab closed. Now for the fun bit. Hooking in the top here. Okay, that went surprisingly well. That usually takes me a sort of 3 or 4 attempts to do that. So what we'll do is we're going to put a target out at about 20 feet, and we're going to be firing we'll fire 8 shots from a freestand position, and we'll see what we can get on the target. Okay, so that really concludes the firing test. As you can see, we had a bit of fun with some cans and also a couple of targets. Overall, I think this is probably going to be the last video we post on this. I might put a chapter 2 up, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't say this has really performed as well as I'd hoped. I don't think it's lived up to all the hype that we've had coming out of various agencies. Don't get me wrong, it is a nice gun. I just think if it hadn't been hyped up so much, it would have just been so much better. Compared to the PO7, I just don't really think it's got a shade on it. Okay, it's a pellet blowback. The market does need a pellet blowback shooter, but I'm not really sure this is the right gun for it. If you're looking for a pellet shooter, I would almost certainly stick to the Umarex Desert Eagle, or even look at a PX4 blowback again. I haven't personally got one, but it's a gun that's really on my list. I've seen nothing but good things about it. So for anybody interested, the target from 20 feet is as follows. Hopefully in the middle of the screen there you can see that all 8 shots are accounted for, and they're all within the black circle in the centre. So accurate by all means, but not necessarily what I was after. Now overall, as I just said a minute ago, I haven't been overly impressed. CO2 consumption on this gun as well is somewhat atrocious. We've been getting about 3 or 4 mags per CO2. I'm not sure if that's because of the blowback action, or you know what's going on there. So if you're after an everyday shooter, this possibly isn't the one for you. If you want to, feel free to check out our tabletop review. That'll go into an awful lot more detail on the gun itself. I'll put a link to that in the description. And also, if you want some close-up photos or a better look around the gun, feel free to check out our Facebook page. Again, we'll put a link in the description. I hope this has kind of helped you. We've been trying to get this up pretty quickly. This is a brand new gun that's come out here in the UK anyway. We've only really just got our hands on it So we wanted to try and get these videos up as soon as we can. Hopefully they've kind of let you see the gun a little bit more, maybe kind of helped you make your decision, or not. Maybe it's left more questions unanswered. If that's the case, feel free to post any questions below or on our Facebook page, and we'll answer them as soon as we can. But apart from that, all that's really left to say is thank you for watching another one of our replica reviews videos.